Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Crow's Whisper Tarot. Today we're going to be looking at how close you are to getting to your manifestation and if there's any other considerations that can be done to speed up the process. So let's jump into the reading. Alright, here are the piles. We have pile 1 with the citrine, pile 2 with the green fluorite, and pile 3 with the pyrite. Take your time selecting your pile and jump to the timestamp. Welcome pile 1 to your reading. Today we are looking at your manifestations and how close you are getting to it. So I've set it up so there's a few checkpoints that we have to go through. So we have the closest, current and furthest time frame, along with a few steps that can be done in the meantime to speed things up. So we start off with Beetlejuice. So essentially what this card is coming about is that you need to feel like you are enough, that you don't need to restrict yourself. You want to keep as positive as you can that this is going to happen and that it will happen in divine timing, or, you know, that things will happen for you without a doubt. Like, you have to have that mindset. You also have to feel like you can embrace all the positive things in your life and remain positive with every experience that you do have, or every sort of mishap or hardship that comes along. You're still able to lend a positive light on the situation. So that's something to keep in mind. Along with that, it might be beneficial for you to spend a bit more time outdoors or in a well-lit room. The environment sort of impacts your emotions and mental state as well, so just keep that in mind. But it's good to in order to manifest this sooner, it's good to, you know, remain positive, remain having good connections with people that you know, remain, you know, in a environment that you're very active and outgoing and not sort of holding yourself back or having negative self-talk with yourself and things like that. Just be really aware of yourself. And we also have this card, You Are Enough. You don't have to give more. So again, it's about knowing your inner light, knowing your energy source, and knowing who gives you energy and who takes it away from you. Just be aware of individuals who might misuse you in some capacity, where they're taking more energy from you than you have to give, or you're being overly generous and not leaving enough for yourself to help with this manifestation to come about. So don't try and, you know, spread yourself too thin. Try and make sure that you have enough energy to look after yourself and build on this manifestation, because it is your energy that's fueling it into being sooner than it should be. So that's just something to keep in mind. So on to the time frame. So at the moment we have the 8 of Pentacles. I think at this stage we're still putting a lot of time and energy into it, and that's what it seems like with Beetlejuice and You Are Enough. Just making sure that you're working at it in a steady pace, and that making sure you're not overworking yourself or overdoing things. You're making sure that it's as it needs to be in the time frame that it needs to be in, and as long as you remain consistent, this is going to happen regardless. There's no sort of issues that come about. If it is going to take a lot of time, we have the 8 of Wands reversed. It's going to take a longer process to get there. So with the 8 of Pentacles, it's almost like a steady state, but with the 8 of Wands reversed, if things are going to take the longest possible time frame to manifest it, it's going to be almost like a start and stop, like acceleration then immediately braking. It's not going to be a consistent effort, and that's probably because either some of you are sort of going through phases of being depressed that it's not going to happen and then restarting your efforts, or it's that you have too many things going on at one time and so it's not going to happen as effectively compared to, let's say you get unwell, or, you know, family things happen and, you know, your resources are and energy is spent on other things that are happening in your life, then it's going to take a longer time frame. But if it is sort of speeding up and you're being really consistent with it, then it's going to happen much sooner. So we have the Empress with the number 3. So 3 usually represents I would say around 3 months based on the circumstances that are happening as the fastest possible time frame. So from that, it can sort of drag out to about 3 years, depending on, again, these two cards of how consistent you are and how positive you are with the hands that you are dealt, and making sure that you're protecting yourself as best as you can and seeing yourself as a jewel that needs to be cherished rather than, a workhorse. So just make sure that you're seeing yourself in that light, especially with the Empress. Knowing your worth and knowing your power is something that is really important. But otherwise, it seems like at this stage you are on the right track. You're working really hard on whatever project that you are trying to manifest, which is really amazing to see. So good luck to all of you. That was your reading, pile one. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, welcome to your reading. We start off by going through a bit of a process. So we have 3 possible timelines, the closest time frame of getting to your manifestation, your current time frame, and if it is any delays in the process, then we have this time frame here as well. And we have 2 cards that are going to represent essentially how we're going to get there, and things that might be blocking or things that we need to work through for this manifestation to come about sooner. So starting off, we have Wormwood. So this usually represents being able to move past negative feelings or past hesitations, things that haven't worked out in the past that we need to work through in order to move forward into a new light. Just making sure that we're on the right track and on the right path for whatever happens in your life. The one thing to keep in mind with this is to move past any negative self-talk or moving past any negative habits that we've built over time to protect ourselves. And it's moving past the thoughts of bitterness and regret and things that haven't worked out in the past and being able to move forward from it. And you might find with this card as well that the only way to move forward is to journal, write down your thoughts on not just what sort of things are holding you back or things that you want to achieve, but think of it as almost writing it down where you're trying to explain to yourself why you feel that way. And I think that breakdown is really going to help sort of push this forward, because by letting go of the past, you're able to sort of accept the new a lot easier and with less sort of restrictions that can happen. We also have Choose Yourself Today, Don't Deny Your Importance. This card also talks about if there are past events that you feel like you were betrayed or that you weren't accepted or you were denied in some capacity by people around you or experiences and things like that. Being able to write down, the positives of that day or things that you want to achieve. And by doing that, you're able to sort of process things a lot easier, being able to understand what's important to you, what needs to change, and what can be sort of made to accommodate your dreams and aspirations and things like that. Because sometimes we have these thoughts that tend to hold us back or almost restrict us in terms of what we can possibly use to create something bigger and something new. So it's just something to keep in mind with this entire process. And if there are any sort of delays with, not being able to move forward or not being able to sort of push yourself out into that light, we have the Temperance card, which is the number 14. So it can be within 14 months, because it does seem like this is going to be a longer process, that you can sort of get towards your manifestation if there are delays in sort of healing yourself in that journey, in order to accept the new with the manifestation that you're working on. If things are as they are at the moment, I think for most of you, we are looking at the next 5 weeks to 5 months, depending on what you are trying to manifest. And it does seem like, again, with the Five of Wands, there tends to be a bit of back and forth competition. It can also be that there is an inner struggle for you at the moment in terms of accepting this manifestation or moving into a new journey in life. It does seem like there's going to be some sort of restriction or difficulty that arises along the way. So just something to keep in mind. But if you go through the entire process of choosing yourself and moving past negative and accepting new things, being able to enjoy new experiences with the people around you and speaking to old friends and moving past that sort of energy, we have the Two of Cups. So again, 2 months time. So as you can see, the process gets, in terms of timeline, goes from 14 months to 2 months. So the timeline is actually quite long if you think of it that way. And even with the Five of Wands card here, even if there is some sort of difficulty, I do feel like if you're able to work through it, it can occur so much sooner than how you would expect. But this entire timeline is dependent on you and your ability to sort of move past all of these things that are happening for you. So just something to keep in mind. But that was your reading, pile 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. So the way this is going to run for this reading is we have 3 time frames that are available to you in terms of how you can manifest this. We have our longest possible time frames that has some sort of delay as part of it. We have our current time frame that most of you will fall into, and we have a time frame that is your closest and most quick time frame in terms of reaching whatever manifestation you have. We also have a few cards here that is meant to help build on whatever delays there are and how we can sort of avoid them, along with any sort of additional advice for this entire process. So looking into your first card, we have snake venom. What this typically shows is that you are someone who is currently very restless. You feel like you have a lot of energy that you need to put into things that are important to you. I feel like you're trying to move this manifestation along as best as possible, and because of that, there are certain steps that you feel like you have to take or that should be happening, and so your mind is sort of on overdrive trying to figure out exactly where you want to go and where you want to be at this particular time frame. And it's almost like you're trying to forcefully push the time frame forward. The result of that, unfortunately, is that you're more likely to get into things that aren't related to your manifestations. For example, if you really want to, meet someone new and you're constantly going out to find them and almost hypersensitive to the people around you. By that I mean you're constantly sort of observing people and moving forward without sort of thinking it through, then you're more likely to get the rotten apples and things that don't really work out in your favor. And so you're putting yourself more at risk of that rather than sort of taking your time and using your energy to, look after yourself or create something new, take on new hobbies, use your energy in a productive sense. Is something that you just need to keep in mind, because you don't want to end up in a situation with, someone who doesn't match what you're looking for, if that scenario takes place. We also have 13, find your haven. This place of wonder is waiting for you. So just keep in mind that within this energy, despite feeling either bored or hyperactive in some capacity, it's important to keep in mind that you need to have your own space to sort of focus your energy into, where you can feel safe, where you can sort of enjoy yourself and get out of this sort of energy where you're only thinking about this manifestation. That is the sense I'm getting with this as well. So just keep that in mind in terms of getting into the process of generating this manifestation. And in terms of, this is quite funny, the longest possible time frame with delays and everything going on in the distance, we have the Chariot. So a very unique energy here, because usually we think of the Chariot as being something very quick and efficient, but it can also be that, you know, you're sort of charging forward towards something that is not meant for you. And it's important to take the time to use that energy for other things, whether it's a creative venture or it's, you know, going to the gym or going on a run and exploring nature and whatever it is. It's important to direct your energy with determination and clarity rather than just to be headstrong and charging forward. Like, there's a difference between the two. And because the Chariot is the number 7, it's important to keep in mind that it could be within 7 weeks, 7 months. Don't think this is 7 years, but that is just something to keep in mind. We also have the Page of Swords reversed for your current time frame. So it does feel like there's a sense of recklessness that is coming in to some extent as well, or just sort of, you know, your thoughts being haywire and just sort of going all over the place of, you know, worst case scenarios and how to make it, you know, speed up and how to put your energy into whatever you're doing. It's important to keep in mind that you can ask for help from the people around you. You can sort of focus your energy on other things, and that's okay. It's not going to be solely you who's going to make this manifestation happen. There's going to be a lot of other external forces put into place to make it happen. So don't feel like all the pressure is on you to get this done. It's going to take its time in terms of how soon this is going to happen for you. So just slow things down. It's okay. You can chill for a bit. You can sort of hide away in a tent or a pillow fort, whatever you like. And that's perfectly fine in terms of that manifestation period. But it feels like regardless of what you do, it's still going to happen. It's not solely you who's going to control this manifestation from happening. There's going to be other people involved and other factors involved in making it happen. So it's okay if it takes a while. It's okay if, you know, things are a little bit slower. It's still going to happen regardless. So just keep that in mind. And last but not least, we have the fastest possible time frame with the 9 of Swords. So I'm going to take that as within 9 weeks or 9 days is essentially what we're looking at in this period of time. It is going to be a lot quicker than you think if you're able to challenge your energy and channel it into, you know, doing other things other than just sort of trying to manifest. There is a balance that needs to be had in order to make it that quick. So just keep that in mind. And it's important it's okay to have that anxiety of whether this is going to happen or not, and that's perfectly normal. We are human, it happens, but just keep in mind that there is a slower process that can help settle the mind, compared to I have to do this, I have to go out, I have to explore things and, you know, do X, Y, and Z for things to happen. It's okay to slow it down. It's still going to happen in the end. So just keep that in mind, but it does feel like it is going to happen sooner than you think if you're able to redirect how you're feeling about things. So that was your reading. I was about to say that was your energy. That was your reading, pile 3. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.